Like, if we got brunch,
Well,
you and I go to brunch.
A croissant-wich.
Okay. But, like, are you talking about, like, a croissant you have cut open and then you put something on it?
I would love to go to, like, one of those fancy French bistros, for brunch. Get a nice croissant, slice it myself, and then go put, I don't know, what have they got? Blue cheese on it or something? Maybe,
Probably.
Maybe some sort of weird pork, like prosciutto.
Yeah, I was like, copious amounts of prosciutto on there. Yeah.
And then an egg.
Sounds fancy.
And just have a mixed sandwich there.
A mixed sandwich, yes. See, my problem is I would want too much. Like, I'd want the waffles and the French toast and the pancakes and the omelet and everything. Because, and French toast sticks. Like 12 different kinds of syrup. Hey, did you know that the place that Popover Pantry is based off of is closed now?
No.
Yeah, Popover Cafe. You can't go there anymore.
They ruined it.
Brunch is over.
They got a reputation for ruining relationships. That's why.
And people do it in the bathroom.
Yeah. This is HIMYM Superfans. Hey there, Chris Venezia.
Hello, James Hamilton.
This is the show where we talk about the CBS comedy How I Met Your Mother.
We want to ruin the show and brunch and New York bistros for you.
That is your spoiler alert for all three of those things. We're going to ruin plot points for the entire series, and prosciutto is just a weird kind of ham.
Yeah, it's like a salty ham slice.
Yeah.
And if you're just joining us, why don't you go back and check out our Season 1 material? It's available on iTunes, Libsyn, other places, probably YouTube.
Yeah, they're all on YouTube and iTunes, available now. On this episode, we're talking about World's Greatest Couple, a.k.a. professionally lit porn.
Yes, some men, like Marshall and Ted, hide their porn.
Originally aired October 16th, 2006, written by Brenda Shue, and directed by Pam Fryman. Chris, did you know she's the real-life inspiration for the Simpsons character Lindsay Naegle?
I did. It's the one that's in all sorts of different professions.
Yeah, every time she shows up, she's the same character, this icy, businesswoman who takes charge.
Not to say that Pam Fryman is icy in any way. I have always found her to be very warm during our conversations.
Yeah, when we talk, she's the most lovely person in the world. Returning as Brad is Joe Manganiello.
We got Aisha Kabia as Kara.
And Valerie Azlynn as Dawn. And some viewers might recognize her from the TBS sitcom Sullivan and Son.
So in this episode, we have two couples that are going to battle it out for which couple is the best, which couple is the world's greatest.
There's actually three couples.
Oh, okay, that's true. Yeah, if you're talking about Ted and Robin.
Ted, Robin.
Yeah. Yeah, they are kind of like, they're the ones that are like overshadowed by the other two. But yeah, they could be their hat is in the running for world's greatest couple. They seem great.
Yeah.
In this episode.
This is another episode where you see them every single time they're on screen together, and almost in every scene, they're very close to one another, or they're touching.
So this episode, I think Mother Fan Dan would say, is the one where it sucks to be single.
Good.
Like, you can't go to brunch.
Oh, right, yeah.
You can't go to concerts.
Yeah, Marshall loves brunch in this episode, and he was at brunch just 2 weeks ago, and it kind of sucked for him, but he did get laid, so...
In the bathroom!
Yeah.
Like a champ.
Yeah.
This episode, we're actually going to watch the episode and talk about it while it's on. You don't have to sync up or anything. We're just going to treat this one sort of casually. It's going to be a shorter one in a lot of ways. Not a lot of really important stuff happens in this, but we do have a few things to throw out there that we think that you'll be interested in.
Yeah, it's not really a critical story episode. It does show another story of what is Marsha going to do when he's not with Lily.
Right. And he can't seem to do anything while he's single. Barney also finds out that it's easier to get people out of the apartment the next day if he's in a couple.
And one of the few episodes where we do get to see Ted and Robin very happy with each other.
Yeah, when I was telling you about this episode, I described them as like a two-headed monster.
Yes.
Like the couple beast or something. I've seen that in Scrubs and other shows where like they're completely inseparable, and like they're not more than like 1 foot apart from each other in this episode at most, and usually it's 0 inches, you know, away from each other, like all up in each other's business.
Yeah, yeah. It's almost like later when Marshall and Lily become the couple monster when they want the oatmeal body scrub.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, Scrubs did that first. But yes, I do remember that now. Yeah, when they're on their road trip.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, Chris, what is your most memorable moment from this episode?
It's actually the lift-up toilet seat. I actually really I dig the color, for one thing. It's like a charcoal gray, almost black, but definitely not black, toilet, and the toilet seat that is spring-loaded to lift up.
You've got a lust for this toilet.
I kind of want that toilet.
I've been in your bathroom. Your shitter is kind of shitty.
Oh, it's gotten much better.
No, it hasn't. Barney's bathroom is hard to compete with. I love his entire apartment. The aesthetic in the bathroom ties in with the rest of the apartment. It's that battleship gray, almost like spaceship kind of motif. Ultra modern, ultra sleek, ultra clean, and sharp lines.
Yeah, the only thing that's like vintage in the entire apartment is the robots that you noticed when we were watching this, like in the background in his bedroom. It's like these 50s style robots, you know, kind of going on there. Otherwise, everything's very modern. Actually, he has like one poster that's got kind of a vintage look. Even like the Stormtrooper, which I'm sure that you noticed as fans, the Stormtrooper in this episode is not the same Stormtrooper that he has in other episodes, and it is actually more modern than the classic Stormtrooper. It is a clone trooper from episode 2 or 3. So it's not even the older Stormtrooper from the 70s and 80s.
So after he started talking about Star Wars with the other two, he realized how shitty the prequels were, and he got rid of that one.
At some point he got rid of the clone trooper. It could have been during the trilogy, trilogy, like the triannual watching of the trilogy.
And they're trilling it up.
Trilling it up. You got to trill it up every 3 years, or the dark side wins.
That's right.
So we're going to go ahead and... Oh, James, what was your most memorable moment?
Well, I don't know if I have a memorable moment, but I do want to talk about the robots in that case.
Okay.
Because most of Barney's apartment was just clean, ultra-modern, sleek. Most of the affectations you find are going to come straight out of a Sharper image catalog. The few personal things he had were the putting green and the Stormtrooper armor and his professionally lit porn, but also this case of robots. And that robots kind of stand out to me because they're all toys, they're all antiques, but they're all like shiny, and they're all designed to attract the eye, whereas everything else in his apartment, even the Stormtrooper to a certain extent, is meant to sort of blend in or project a clean, sharp image.
The Stormtrooper doesn't require a whole lot of focus on it. Yes, if you're wandering through his apartment, nothing stands out, not even the Stormtrooper, other than the fact that it's a Stormtrooper. But, like, you could only stare at it for a few seconds before you would want to move on. Probably not even that. You'd be like, oh, Stormtrooper. But yes, the robots, it has a lot of different things that you could look at. I mean, each one has fine detail and stuff. Actually, I'm going to point out, if I remember, there appears to be something on the wall behind him when he's talking about the porn. It looks like there is like a shadow box full of different sizes of bullets on the wall, which is a little terrifying.
Yeah, what's up with that, Barney?
Like for Barney, that can't be a good thing, but he also doesn't know anything about guns. Like Robin, I would be more comfortable with her having that, because she knows like how to maintain and use a firearm.
I just had an idea.
Like Barney would injure someone.
What if that's another ploy in his get bimbos out of the apartment plan?
The bullets on the wall?
Yeah, if the porn doesn't scare them out, I have an affinity for weapons and guns. Here's an example of bullets. The only reason you would have bullets displayed like that is so you could point to them and say, here's what each one of these would do to you if it hit you.
Well, right, yeah, like each bullet has a purpose, and each purpose is for the caliber of like what you're firing at, like whether it be animal, people, or tank.
Yes.
So, with no further ado, let's go ahead and start watching World's Greatest Couple. Okay, so we're starting the episode. Ted is talking about Barney and how nobody has ever been over to his place as of yet. We do find out that Ted has a key. He's not used that key to get into Barney's place to see what it's like, even though he could have.
Yeah. He's just not interested, or maybe he's scared.
Yeah, it could be like a little bit of a, like, well, what if there's a booby trap there?
What if he shows up and there's a sex swing?
With Barney in it, and his mom. Let's move on.
Oh, God.
The stove inkerator is actually a real thing. I didn't know that. I imagine, now that I know that that's a real thing, that only exists in New York City, because only there do you need to cram people into such tiny spaces, because there is literally not enough space in Manhattan for all the people there.
Yeah, seems like an invention after extremely tight urbanization became a thing.
I still wonder why Lily picked this place when she could have afforded the apartment that was clearly the mother's apartment and also the law school apartment,
yeah.
and the apartment that they go to when they have an apartment that's the one that's on the right side of the hallway, like where you enter in and you're walking to the right.
Yeah.
Like that apartment, like Lily could have afforded that one, but instead she chose this one with all the gambling outside.
The robot sculptures of Barney's reminded me of the robots that Tracy would draw in her Robots Moving into Indoor Sports.
Mm-hmm.
And I think later it was track and field.
Yes, it's a very exciting time.
Yeah. And so I asked you if we could watch Season 9, Episode 9, where Barney meets the mother, so we could see if the idea for Barney to collect robots came from the mother, or if Barney gave the mother the idea to paint robots. And no, that didn't happen at all.
Now, the time frame on that doesn't work out, because they were both thinking of that independently, because she was doing the robots doing bowling when she was about to be going to Low Point in Season 4, the St. Patrick's Day episode.
Exactly, yeah.
Gerudo. So here we see Barney coming home. He's been at work all day, and he's complaining about what sounds like fantasy baseball, and he's saying that he's going to turn this person into the commissioner. It turns out it's his mom.
Yeah.
And that's fine and funny, except that this is inconsistent with the rest of the series, where Barney would never treat his mom like that.
No.
He puts her on a pedestal beyond what most people are capable of
Believes
even
all
doing.
of her lies.
And right, yes. And so yeah, that doesn't work for me. So while Lily was in Barney's apartment, she went ahead and looked at his spare bedroom, I guess to scope it out, see what it would be like. Found out it's a room dedicated to his suits, and Barney says that she cannot stay in the suit room.
And he's at a point in his life where his suits are his family, just like his friends.
But less so, because they're not allowed to come over.
Or the friends from Friends, or the friends are their family.
Right. Yes, that, right. From the TV show Friends. Yeah. Not his actual friends, but from the TV show Friends.
I like this part where Lily puts both her hands up and says, "Look at how small and tiny my hands are."
I also like that she brought, like, a stuffed duck. Like, she was a little scared to go over there. She needed, like, a little friend that would, be her, like, companion, like a... What are those things, like, you bring on a plane, like you bring a pet on a plane?
Yeah, comfort animal.
Yeah, comfort animal. And, yeah, it's like got Ducky there. And it looks like she brought a suitcase.
Yes, she packed a suitcase. I don't know
why.
Her
person, her duck.
The ducky couldn't fit in the suitcase. Maybe she had
was
to
clutching
take
it when he came in.
To get on that subway train.
The TV here that takes up the wall, the 300 inches diagonal, which I did not measure my wall to see if it's 300 inches diagonal to see if I could even fit that TV. My guess is no.
No.
And it burns your eyes.
Well, that, and also you would have to have an industrial-sized air conditioner, or you'd set the entire building on fire. Yeah.
But Marshall decides to bring Brad to the Alanis Morissette concert.
Yeah, and I love that Brad is such an Atlantis fan that this is not his first concert. He's wearing the 2004 T-shirt.
Yep.
He went 2 years ago.
Yeah, so like this was like Marshall asked him, like, oh my god.
Fuck yes.
Like, he couldn't be happier. Like, I wanted to go to that anyway, but I didn't get tickets.
He probably immediately thought of that shirt, of where it is in his closet.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he took it out of a plastic bag. I don't know.
Right.
It's just, I've been waiting for you, baby. Smells like concert. Smells like 2004.
Right. The last concert that I went to, the last 10, they smell like sweat and pot.
Yep.
That's what every concert I've been to smells like.
Yep. And maybe a little sulfur if it's that kind of concert. I love this part of the episode, and Barney and Lily are living together, and they are wearing the same colors. It stands out because Barney almost never wears brown.
Yeah, it's not really a good color for him and his complexion and his hair. I don't know if any of that's true or not, but it sounded right. But yes, they are both earth tones, and even like Lily's hair in this season isn't that bright, vibrant red. It's more like an auburn, like a darker, like a burnt umber
More natural
kind of color. Yeah, so they both got like natural tones, and that's really almost toned down by the rest of the apartment. That's also in sort of like these drab tones.
Yeah,
the bathroom
has
here,
the most color.
Right, in
green.
grays and greens, yes, which are still like not vibrant, like blues and reds and yellows and stuff. There's the flip up toilet. Yep. I'm very pleased by that. Like, I don't have that. I put it down all the time just in case.
Yeah.
But like if you were to have a bachelor pad, here's the bullets on the wall. He's got a whole bunch of like, I don't know,
African devil mask.
Yeah, like some sort of like.
That's also like vaguely scary, I guess.
But yeah, bullets on the wall. But yeah, like the toilet. Like if you have a bachelor pad and you don't want women hanging around, like leave the seat up as much as possible. In fact, pee all over it. But the like, you put your seat down if you want a lady to stay.
Yeah.
And so he doesn't. It's funny to me.
Yeah.
So here we've got the popover pantry. It's nice because this actually is the popover pantry. Some people on the internet feel like the first time that the popover pantry is mentioned or that someone goes to it is in Change of Heart. You can clearly see on the door behind Marshall that they are at...
internet.
That's right. They're at the popover pantry where the zucchini bread is RE-DONK.
Re-fucking-donk-U-LUS. Love zucchini bread. It's RE-DONK. And I love Manganiello's here. He's got like the faux hawk. Mm-hmm. And Marshall has got the flip-up thing. The real bro hairstyles.
And the Eggs Benny.
Yeah, the Eggs Benny.
Did not overstate.
I love Manganiello's performance.
He's excited about all the things that you would expect him to not be excited about.
Yes, and he says the words that you would not expect to come out of a dude bro's mouth.
Like, do you like ABBA? Well, who am I kidding? Everybody loves ABBA.
That and Totes and RE-DONK-U-LUS.
Mm-hmm. So here we've got the hippie lady that I forgot was in this episode. I mean, I guess I didn't because it's going to burn in my memory. It's scary enough.
She's done.
I feel like this is probably why Barney eventually came up with the Hobogon system, where he can, get the women sucked into the wall, into a place where it's possible that they never come back out of.
They just disappear Scooby-Doo style?
Yeah.
It's vaguely threatening?
No, yeah, I mean, it seems very serial killer-ish.
Is a prestige situation going on there?
Probably, but Barney's terrified here because nothing's working to get rid of her, and then Lily comes back and it's like, "Is this your wife?" Like, no. Yes.
No. Yes. No. Yes. That's my favorite line of the episode.
No, don't come back. No, I feel bad. I'm terrible. Oh,
I'm sorry, baby doll.
So yeah, Barney decides that Lily should stay. Because she will scare off women the next day, the ones that didn't leave that night. I mean, Barney's got his rules, and I'm pretty sure that if he is over at somebody else's place, he wouldn't even spend the night. He would leave.
Yes,
he would sneak out.
Leave a note and say he's a ghost.
Yeah, dear resident. If it's his place, he has no choice but to stay. Now Lily is going to be here to chase out the women the next day because they don't want to leave. They want breakfast and stuff. It's nice to offer, but I'm guessing that Barney is hoping the answer is no thank you. I know exactly what this was. I'm going to go now.
No, most of the women he brings home believe he's in secret NASA or something.
Yeah, I guess they want to see him again because he's He sells himself as like a cool guy.
Yeah. He's so
that
cool.
probably wants to see them more.
Yeah.
He's probably, that's part of the play, that he's looking for something serious.
Right. Here's another scene with Ted and Robin out, but they're touching. They're literally touching here. They're at the bar talking to Marshall, saying Marshall better not wear his granny panties.
Right. Yes. It was the third date. It's about to come up to Cafe L'Amour.
With the lace.
So here's a nice-looking young lady that's staying over.
There's croissants or pastry.
Yeah, it looks like cinnamon rolls or something, some orange juice, and some coffee. Oh, no! Barney's wife is home.
Really, I can explain.
Yeah. And then she gets him real good right in the face. And
yeah.
That was just for funsies.
They had the disaster and recovery scene, and now they have the well-rehearsed scene. There was no planning scene whatsoever. Didn't have time for it, or it didn't matter.
No, I'm sure they did plan. I mean, at least a little bit. But I mean, some of that was improvised, apparently. Also, I like that they're playing. They don't
fucking Tarantino shit here. She gets down and eats her food.
Oh, yeah, well, that is funny. I like that they're eating on what looks like an old pizza parlor arcade. Yeah, like this isn't like an arcade.
It's not a cabinet. It's the table.
Version, yeah, exactly. Like the only place that I've seen those is like a pizza parlor, and that was in the 90s, possibly the 80s.
Yeah.
So like that's his
order.
That's his. Yeah, that's what he eats on. He doesn't have like a dining room table. So Lily convinces Barney to make it at least more believable by having it look like a woman could live there.
Yeah. So that means the putting green becomes a Persian rug, there's the smiling kitty, the stormtrooper becomes a plant, and the porn becomes books that Lily got somewhere, I'm guessing.
Maybe like she got those in the breakup?
Out of her storage unit.
Right.
Next to the pot lids.
Because she couldn't possibly have room in her apartment for that.
No. God, this is such a romantic scene.
Yeah, Cafe L'Amour. Yeah.
And it looks a lot like that little bistro in Brooklyn, too.
It does, except they're not focusing on that one wall that has the blue French horn on it.
Isn't the blue French horn above a fireplace?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like it's possible that they're just they're panning differently. Here's where Brad does
the line.
The mom cleaning.
Yeah.
That's not even like a couple thing. That's like where the mom like licks a napkin or something and wipes a kid's face.
Yeah.
They cut back and like Brad like won't let him put on his blazer by himself. No, Brad, I got it. I know how to do it.
Brad has definitely got some crossed wires. It's like we had the days after your breakup, what happens to Marshall, and days at the beginning of a relationship, what happens to Ted. This is what happens after a breakup if you're Brad.
Right. Yeah. This is what day is he on? Like day 40. Like
he's just
enter a new relationship with your girlfriend.
Yes. This is where I start to transfer inappropriate affection towards my male friends. Oh, but Ted and Robin are loving it.
Their sole purpose for the rest of the episode is to make fun of Marshall, with the exception of the flash forward at the very end where Ted helps Marshall feel better about seeing Brad on the street.
Oh yeah. That was after the breakup, one would assume.
Yeah. Yeah, Marshall's
damning Brunch up to God.
He has upset at Brunch. Brunch caused all of this. His desire to go to Brunch means that he's now in a relationship with Brad. But like Brad is like he's in a messed up place right now. He's like actually crying because like he's like pushed away his friend who doesn't want to go to the wedding, and he's so happy. Like I don't know, Brad's got some exploring to do. Finding himself, I think.
Yeah.
Which he's not going to do because he gets right back together with Kara.
She's just going to break your heart, Brad. So
Lily is wearing a shirt that on the shirt is a cat, and the cat is wearing human's clothes. It is an anthropomorphized cat. What is that?
Well, it sounds like an internet-inspired t-shirt. Like they put a kitten's head on some rock star's famous portrait. Because it's not like a normal leather jacket. It's like, I think there's a scarf going on there or something, but...
Could be.
You put a cat's face on it, it goes up on the internet.
I mean, the internet is made of cats.
Yeah.
So Marshall shows up the next day. Brad has calla lilies, and he's freaking out. He makes the mistake of calling Ted, who has nothing useful to offer.
This might be my other favorite line of the episode. No. 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 Just before Marshall calls, and for no reason, calls Ted and says, Brad got me flowers. For no reason, and then hangs up.
Yeah, I mean, the call, I mean, I like it, and I mean, Ted and Robin are on screen for like 1 second laughing at him, but it is actually pretty funny, and like, that's just one more moment, like, they're super close, and like, all hanging off each other, making breakfast.
They're doing everything together. They were on the couch together, they were drinking together.
They're possibly the world's greatest couple. So Kara's back, Marshall's hurt.
Making her triumphant second and final appearance. Her last line was, because shut up, or on the grounds of shut up.
In the last episode.
And then she spit out her beer and fell over. Now
she was laughing too hard.
She's the Attorney General.
So Barney, having had no alcohol, decided to take off his jacket, shirt, tie, leave on the dress pants and the belt, and fall asleep and not know if he fooled around with Lily. Lily looks under the blanket for a second to make sure that she's still wearing her pants, I guess.
Yeah, or to see if there's anything that looks damp.
Yeah, but she didn't look long enough to really
I also
tell.
It bothers me that Barney fell asleep wearing a metal band clasp watch. I have not worn one in a while, but every time I have, it's driven me nuts. I've got a lot of arm hair, too. He probably waxes.
He might. It looks like he's waxing everything. Actually, I want to point out here, this is actually a little interesting to me that Barney says, like, this is what a relationship is. It's not going out on a Friday night. It's staying in and falling asleep, next to somebody without having sex with them. That actually is Barney's experience in relationships so far, being Shannon. If they did actually spend the night together, which they don't say if they did or didn't, but assuming that they did stay in on a Friday night and watch Letterman, there was no sex involved. That we do know.
Yeah.
So that's what he thinks a relationship is. For sure, that's the only thing that he's known so far, his one experience with relationships. So now that he's got that, this feels too real again, and sort of explains why he's so upset, and also robots in the background.
Yeah.
So in this final little segment, this is the future. We don't know when, but it's in the
nebulous
future.
Time in the future. Yeah.
So Marshall wants to make Brad feel jealous. Brad doesn't feel jealous whatsoever, and probably feels embarrassed for them, and then leaves.
Yeah, because if all of them were gay, then Marshall traded down, I think.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Ted.
Yeah, take that, Ted.
Yeah. Sorry, bro.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Brad is like a beast monster with his like abs and his muscles and his whatnot.
He's gorgeous.
So, and he likes zucchini bread.
And it's RE-DONK. Of course, they mentioned Letterman because the show was on CBS, but the creators of the show were longtime writers of the David Letterman show.
I knew that and totally forgot.
Mm-hmm.
I did know that. You don't know that I didn't. Let's go ahead and wrap this episode up. Not a lot plot-wise, story-wise, like major story arc or even minor story arc happens in this episode. Yeah, it's fun.
We're just sort of floating a couple story arcs here. The Marshall and Lily are apart, and this is answering a couple questions. Where is Lily living? What is she doing for her job? We'll learn in the next episode. So they're kind of floating along until they can get back together and the show can get back to its routine.
Right. Yeah, because we're a few episodes apart from the normal gang of 5. Interesting thing we were talking about, like the robots and the mothers, like robots doing bowling, period. We watched that episode. That episode actually features Hammond Druthers. Hammond Druthers in that episode is holding his baseball and he wants Ted to move to Chicago. Hammond Druthers actually will appear in the next episode. Next episode being Aldrin Justice, who's not yet back with Marshall, but she's looking for a job. That one's a good one because she does all the, like beekeeper, not a beekeeper.
This is the first time we see Barney's apartment?
First time pop over pantry. It's in there a couple times. It looks completely different than the next time that we see pop over pantry that I can remember, which would be Change of Heart. That's the next one that stands out in my mind.
Yeah.
Completely different layout. I mean, it's only the same in name. Inconsistency, like I was saying while we were watching it, Barney being mean to his mom.
Yeah.
That will never happen again.
No.
That's not who Barney is, and that's not what their relationship is like. We haven't met her yet, so that's just something that they thought would be funny for this episode. Oh, music. Yeah, when Marshall's walking away from Brad, Abba's song
Bonanza.
There's something's playing. I thought that was kind of funny. Like, what is that? Oh, yeah.
There's another one when Lily is remodeling the apartment that bones, brittle little bones, not the ones you see. That ditty is, I don't know what it's called, but I hear it a lot, especially in remodeling montages.
Wow, I can't believe that that's like a recurring remodeling montage song.
It is. Yeah.
Wow, that's not apparently going to be in anything else. It's the only thing it does.
No. So I can't imagine there's anything like a life lesson here, because what happens? Lily, learns to what? Nothing?
No, Lily learns no lesson in all of this. She's just desperate.
Yeah.
Barney could have learned a lesson about, like, being in a relationship and, like, exploring his own fears in that, and chooses not to and screams, "Get out," to Lily because he feels something. Brad and Marshall aren't actually meant for each other. They have an awesome relationship, but they're not able to, make that work because they're not gay for each other. And Ted and Robin, break up because they're also not the world's greatest couple because they're good right now.
Yeah,
but they're not the world's greatest.
Right.
No stretch of the imagination where that's true.
So, like, the only conflict in this episode was miscommunication or happenstance. No, you can't live here. Okay, you can. Oh, it looks like we slept together. No, we didn't. Nothing happened.
Invite you to this wedding.
Yeah.
At the Walt.
It's sweet, bro.
And it's misunderstanding, or it is easier to go in half on a gravy boat.
Sure, I'd go half season on a gravy boat with you. Let's go to a breakfast buffet.
We need to find one, though. Actually, the one around here closed.
We should try to find one that's open about 11 a.m.
Okay, yeah, for brunch?
No, breakfast.
Oh, just breakfast.
Breakfast at 11 a.m.
Okay.
With mimosas.
No, right, yes.
So that's all we had to say about this one, folks. What do you have to say?
Yeah, if you're on Facebook, you can leave us a note in our Facebook group. The URL, I believe, is www.brosgetbrunch.org.
No, Chris, I changed it this week to facebook.com/groups/HIMYM Superfans.
Well, that's much longer, but it makes more sense. So how do people tweet at us then?
That would be at HIMYM_James.
And if you like the podcast, all we ask is that you like, comment, subscribe, share, upvote, retweet, and give us a popover pantry at brosgetbrunch.org.
Mm-hmm. We get paid in likes, shares, and popover pantries. It's still much better than when I had that job at the other pantry where I had to clean out all the yeast rolls.
He has to wear a hair net and a beard net.
And a beard net.
And he has to wax his arms Barney style.
Yeah.
You don't want that.
No. And please check out the Facebook group for new stuff all week.
Yeast Factory.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Some redonk zucchini bread. That sounds awesome.